Hi Rahul.
Hello, Murthy. Hi.
It's always a pleasure meeting you.
Absolutely.
Right, in the opportunities I've had meeting you before, I always sense walking away more energized and having had great conversations. So I'm
Fantastic.
looking forward to have one more as well.
Great. Same here.
You know, I have a very nostalgic warmth when I think about Wakefield, right? I remember growing up in the 80s, coming home to homemade custard. Possibly Wakefield was the reason we came to know about a product called custard, right? That's how we got used to that product at all. So, how has your association been with Wakefield, and what's your vision and mission here?
Wickfield is a truly Indian MNC. It's in its 70th year of being in India. Even I have memories and very recent memories of consuming custard. But what I see the beauty about this brand and which actually enchants me is that the products, while the company has been for 70 years, the product continues to be relevant.
Right.
And the way company has always evolved itself to keep its product offerings, stay in tune with the market and also changing dynamics. It is truly a consumer centric brand, and the brand equity is very strong. I mean, talk about it, you ask anyone you know in your family, they will know it. It is like
Absolutely.
something which is cannot be missed in the house.
Right.
So it's a beautiful opportunity to work with such a brand, and the family who owns this and they have started it, they have nurtured this organization through their core values of commitment, trustworthiness, being caring and considerate, striving for excellence, and that is what has made Wickfield an organization which has stood through the time. I mean, for 70 years, how many brands, Indian brands, have actually stood through the time?
Absolutely.
It is still growing strong. And as I look forward, that what should be our goal as we move forward is essentially how to make it relevant for the future generation and how to carry forward the legacy. And this would certainly centered around having very strong operational efficiencies in sales and distribution, in supply chain, definitely having our consumer centric innovation so that we continue to reap benefits from the consumer franchise building up. And at the heart of it are people. Really investing in people, having a very high performing team, and building their capability through different modes, upskilling them, and also digitization. So I think these are going to be our main and very basic principles as we look forward.
Great. You know, as you said, Wakefield was founded 69 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And at first it was started with one product and then, went on to scale, and now you have a plethora of products, right? Yeah. So when a company lives and grows for such a long duration, right? You absolutely come to have to manage things like changing customer preferences, right?
Yeah.
The buying patterns and trends, they keep changing, right? And today, in this era, we see a huge difference from what it was some time ago, even 10, 15 years ago, right? In your perspective, what are the key drivers that make this happen?
See, what is interesting to note is that when a brand starts its journey in a country, what are they starting with? And what is the core purpose for which they're living? The core purpose of the brand has been about crafting products which gives the international taste. That's how it started. And if you see the past of India, barring the last 7-8 years, India largely used to get very enchanted by imported product. Right? This is foreign made, imported, and all those things. And in 1956, Wickfield started custard, cornstarch, baking powder, and those time custard itself was a delicacy. It's like hard to have such great dessert, cakes, pastries were very premium. So what it did, it kept ensuring that at some point in time, these things will become a part of mainstream. So kept getting trials done, getting it tasted across different parts of the country, getting it seeded. And during that part of India, it does take time to build a particular thing because technology, infrastructure wasn't so great. However, what the brand did, and I feel what every brand should do, or largely bigger companies keep doing, is to keep checking with consumer what now they are looking for. What are the taste buds, what are the food choices getting transformed into, and get those kind of product accompaniments. If you see our core is not the final product. It is the magic which we do during the preparation stage, which makes the final product.
Okay.
Our baking powder, if it is added, it will give the crispiest and the fluffiest cake. The quality can't be matched by any other baking powder.
Okay.
The cornstarch, the custard, the flavorfulness, all those things. Now, all of these things are important to be seen from the customer perspective. Are we giving the right quality? Because over so many years, for any organization, cost becomes a pressure. We don't have the price of raw material the way it used to be many years back. So hence, organization should ensure, in which this organization ensured, that the compromise on quality doesn't happen in the bid to achieve a certain amount of profitability.
Right.
That's what organization did. Along with that, over a period of time, a lot of relevant launches and product innovations were done. So if it was cornstarch initially to start with, or custard, there was jelly, there was faluda. Further moving on to pasta, for example, our pasta launched in 2019, and we are the leading brand in gourmet pasta in India.
Okay.
So I think it's a mix of having the right quality, being consistent with it, and also having the consumer codes checked right, so that you build products.
The pulse of the customer.
Yeah, pulse of the customer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So with rising incomes, right? Rising disposable income, if I might say, how does that kind of tune this market, right? How does that feed into this curve?
See, what I'm seeing, and from my observations and the research, especially after COVID, what we see is that now there are more voices in the same house. If you see, India has been traditionally a family-rooted culture.
Right.
And there has been, when we were kid, right, one head of the family, he will decide what, or she will decide what happens in the house.
True.
What food will be prepared, what should one do on certain occasions or over the weekend. Those have changed, especially after COVID. And as the education levels has increased in India, people have become more informed. And hence what I see now, there are more households within the same household. So earlier we used to say, household penetration.
Yeah.
Now it is like multiple houses. Now
So
think
it's
about
like democratizing inside the family.
Absolutely.
Now,
Now think about it. Toothpaste are different for husband, wife, kids. Soaps are different.
right?
Choices of tea, coffee differ. The food items, breakfast differs. This wasn't the case earlier. So the rising disposable income, in a way, also lead to rising voices, rising choices. And now there is a certain believability and acceptance that some other views also will be okay. You don't want to eat this thing, you don't want to buy this thing, it's okay. You can buy something else. I used to fear my grandparents and my father. How can I say, I don't want to have this? So I think those openness has become acceptable in the country. Of course, it's a result of education. It's a result of being better exposed. But still, the Indians are very well rooted in the culture. So while with all those changes, trends are changing. They are buying stuff, but somewhere that thread is still there, that what they are consuming has got some resemblance of their past. And that's why if you see our product, it has not become irrelevant. Even if it is 1956, they stay relevant. But the way people consume and the way they want to have it has changed.
Okay. One another aspect that I really see, right, is the role and the presence and the influence created by social media and the digital media, right? So Bill Gates once said, if your business is not on the internet, then your business will soon be out of business, right?
Absolutely.
Shift 20, 30 years, you could literally say the same thing about digital and social today, right?
Absolutely.
If you are not engaging your customers through digital and social, then soon you might be out of business, right? Everybody is engaging through social. How do you put that in context with long-running businesses adapting to this challenge, right? Because new, digital-first businesses seem to have an edge there. Yeah. They launch D2C first, right, and such like. So how do you see such? How should FMCG companies adapt to this challenge, right? How does it feed into the whole engine?
See, I think there's a beautiful stuff you said, that if your business is not going to be on digital, it's not going to be a business.
Right.
See, all the business have a certain core, and the core is consumer. Any business which doesn't have consumer at their core will never survive. Now, if you reflect upon the consumer of India right now, India before COVID was in a digital emerging economy. COVID only propelled us faster, and all this UPI stuff further enhanced this thing, and we are into digital advancement stage. Of course, the internet is far cheaper across the world. In India, IT technology, the infrastructure is very, very good in India. So it does change the adaptability or acceptance of consumer. Now what you see is that even our grandparents, okay, they know how to use UPI, scanning and everything. So it has become much more, the consumer at that age has changed, which means a lot of changes are there. Now what organization should do? Organization should first embrace and accept the changes happened. And it is going to be the course. And if, say, WhatsApp was relevant few years back, it may not be. Something else will come in. So I think the biggest thing for organizations to see is to remain relevant. They should accept that changes are going to be happening in the industry. The internal talent, the internal team have to be ready to understand these things are going to change and prepare their operational processes around that. Then only the real transformation can happen, which is about internal acceptability that these changes are happening, and then start embracing it by putting smaller steps. Move gradually towards automation, digitization. It's not only about the marketing piece. I think the bigger digitization is in the back end,
Right.
which is where the changes should happen.
You mean the organization themselves becoming more efficient?
Organizations and many other departments. So what I'm trying to say, it's not only marketing team's role.
Right.
Because consumer is changing, and hence we should have digital marketing, we should have LinkedIn and Facebook. Much of those digitization and automation are actually good for use in manufacturing, in legal and compliances, in supply chain processes,
Okay.
in R&D. Those way it should be used well.
Okay. Okay. So, this influencers and social pushes marketing and trends, as we spoke, right?
Yeah.
And the other way around, the trends also push the influencers, right?
Absolutely.
So, so what leads what, really, right? That's a conundrum that we are faced with, right? So with a new range of products coming in, right? For example, in some cases, there is literally no market for something, right? Market does not know that this thing exists. Like, for example, custard in 58, right? So, but then somebody comes and creates an awareness and an opportunity for something, and then the cycle starts, right? Are there such opportunities that FMCG companies can capitalize on today?
No, absolutely. The thing is that many of these opportunities are never well stated.
Okay.
They will not be plain vanilla saying that this is the category which now consumer wants to have. There is something which I truly call is consumer-led category definition, which means how does consumer read their need space, and for that particular need, which are those categories or type of product which gives solution to that need. And let them filter it through their decision tree in their mind, brand, price, product type or something else, through which they arrive at a final solution. I'll give you a point in case. We have this product which we launched in 2019, pasta.
Okay.
Now pasta, during my growing up days, even till college or early job days, used to be, oh man, very premium, Italian taste and whatnot. Cut to now, it's very common.
Yeah.
I mean, the price per kg of pasta is even lesser than, or rather at par with glucose biscuits. It is not at all premium. But the aspiration value is pretty high.
Right.
Now what has happened, and what we see consumer using it, they don't cook it the way Italian pasta are being done. It is a part of a certain moment in a day where someone wants to make a quick snack.
Right.
6-7 minutes, it boils up, you put onion, chopped onion, tomato, some amount of sauce or something, and it's ready.
Yeah.
Put some little bit of seasoning if you want to, it's ready. Now where does it compete? And our interesting study told that the product with which our pasta or macaroni competes are not just the pasta, it's chaat items.
Okay. Like a quick snack.
Like a quick snack, your bhel puri equivalent,
Okay.
vada pav equivalent, vermicelli in some cases certainly noodles, okay, and in some cases those light hunger moments sandwiches equivalent.
Right.
Now if we see in this manner, nobody will ever say from a pure marketing play that pasta competes with sandwiches or it competes with bhel puri.
Vada
But
pav.
if you or vada pav. But if you see from the consumer mind share, okay, evening I need a little bit of stomach filling snack which should be quick to make. It should not be unhygienic. It should be better for me kind of snack, but it should be warm. You know, Indians have this thing of having warm. Warm food means it is fresh, and which is where you suddenly see that definition of the category is different. The person is craving for a certain meal option which caters to the stuff which I just said.
Right.
And as there are different kind of products, so these are adjacencies.
Right.
And hence it's not about suddenly consumer waking up and saying that aaj to main, I will only eat pasta because I'm feeling great. Not like that. It's for a certain craving.
Right.
And that's where multiple option comes in. Important for brand to understand that what does consumer actually is trying to say.
Right.
Of course, which is where digital stuff can really help, and to be able to decode it, that what is the consumer-led definition of the category, and devise product or experiences, or have the influencers engaged to amplify that particular need space accordingly.
Okay. This consumer-led product categorization, right? That's a very interesting concept. I'm hearing that. Actually, it's expanding in my mind as I think. So thanks for that. One more interesting that you said about the pasta competing with other products, right? What I was reflecting on was just like the kids of today are digital first kids. Like we had to learn it when it happened, right?
Yeah.
Smartphones came in after I had come into business, right? But kids now, when they're born, they see the iPad and that's how they grow up.
Yeah.
So their exposure to snacks like pasta is natural. Right? So when they grow up, your market and the size is going to grow, right?
So you are touching the right now. So when I say we have to make our brand relevant for future generation, it is important for us to know that consumer of now, who will eventually become younger adult, younger parent later on.
Absolutely.
How do they see stuff? How do they consume? And to remain relevant? What are those codes which stays true with them? See, it's not that consumer changes 100%. Of course, we were not very similar to the way our parents were.
Absolutely.
Right? We also changed.
Yeah.
Of course, the pace is a little different now. So it is important for us as a marketer to not only focus on the plain vanilla research the way it used to happen, but also do observance and do study through which we are able to see how consumers, the younger ones, are behaving, which has nothing to do with only consumption. The way they see things, like point in case, they get bored very quickly. I remember, and I have
like
younger.
YouTube shorts.
Yeah, reels. Yeah. You can't have a reel which is 2 minutes. Like, kitna bada hai?
Yeah.
How long is this?
I mean, another example, right? When we were growing up, filmy music songs were all 6 minutes long. Kids today, they can't listen to a 6-minute song.
Yes.
Songs have to be 3.5 to 4 minutes long. That's the max you can.
Span of attention.
Yeah.
Now, you put, and you said beautiful thing. Murthy, thanks for bringing this up. Now, you overlay this entire piece on the current consumption habits. If there is a trend, it is not going to be a long-lived.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a short.
The cycles are much more shorter.
Much shorter.
Absolutely.
So, and for that matter, whenever you go to next time to a particular supermarket, do visit the sauce section, which used to be traditionally tomato ketchup, some bit of soya, vinegar, whatever,
chili sauce.
And you say, oh my God, what varieties are there? You go there after 6 months, you find a new brand,
right?
A new name, a new bottle, a new color. Because consumer doesn't have a very high span of attention now. They say, we have already tasted this.
Let me try something else.
Right. Now overlay this thing the way food joints are. Okay, you are in Chennai. Yeah, your team members are in Bangalore also. You go across the street, okay, and you'll see suddenly so many food joints have come in. Not that the population has increased by so much, but what it reflects is that consumption occasions are increasing. And everybody in every chain, every outlet is crowded. It's not that only few are working. Everything is crowded.
Absolutely.
Maybe people are eating more. They are eating variety. But more importantly, they are seeking options. Right. So if someone has eaten an ananaga, okay, the Second Avenue Road, if they have tried a particular kind of dosa, now they say, okay, we have already tried this one, we will try the other one.
Right.
But why? It's the same dosa. So if you see the historical way of thinking, it's the same thing. Why do you need multiple? What consumers want. They just want, they are not satisfied with the same thing being given to them. And hence, this particular trend is going to be very interesting and a challenging one for the industry.
Absolutely. You know, when you talk about challenges, right? So the trend is keeping on changing. The cycles are very fast. How does this challenge or complicate your supply chain management, right? So your planning and, you know, everything goes, your traditional way of thinking might not really suit here.
Yeah.
So how does that challenge it, and what are FMCG companies doing to counter that?
See, what you said is actually a very big challenge. Okay, I started my journey. I graduated from IIT Bombay and I joined the organization, the biscuit organization, and I started in supply chain. And I remember the way supply chain used to be, and I see the supply chain now. Very limited change has happened in the way supply chain as a way it works, because
The basics have remained the same.
basics have remained the same, which in a way is very, very good.
Okay.
The people who have deviated from basics have actually not been able to sustain the organization. Yeah.
Okay.
So supply chain roots are very important. But one thing which is changing, and that is something which many organizations are adapting to, are lower MOQs. Okay. Earlier, it used to be if you want a particular product or something. So there is a raw material, packaging material involved. So you need to have a certain minimum order size and a minimum production run. So the agility or adaptability gets limited by that. Right?
Okay.
Now those things are changing. Now what we see is that in the field of logistics, in the field of supply chain, in the field of procurement, a lot of vendors have come in. Many of them are doing customized solutions. Many of them are having improved machinery and technology with which they're having smaller batches, smaller batch sizes.
Okay.
So for any organization to catch up a particular trend, I think it is very important the core of the procurement and the supply chain team, they develop their base, which has a lot of commonality, so that maybe majority of the structure remains the same. They only have to tweak few design elements,
Okay.
which doesn't have too much of an MOQ or too much of working capital block, and then they can churn out things pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like saying suddenly few guests come over home, you know that you have got tomato, onion, potato, you have got flour. Some stuff will be managed.
Yeah.
Some amount of customization can still happen.
Okay.
So I think it's great that many organizations who have stood through the time have been attached to the basics of supply chain, where the shift really needed is not to change the basics, but at the same time build those code of changes in design element where only few elements are required to be sourced differently.
Understood.
And the package could be still delivered quicker.
Superb. So what I understand from what you said is a strong base, a solid base with essentials.
Yes.
And then on top, you are nimble enough to customize and move quickly.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what you're saying.
And see what government of India has done because of the GST, right? Now this entire cross-border supplies are easy. There used to be a VAT system, there used to be taxes, and it used to be very complex.
Octroi and excise.
Now it is very simple. So for being nimble-footed, one doesn't have to have warehouse in every single state. You can have those strategically placed locations.
Right.
Basis the kind of places you have your distributor network or the places you supply. And many companies have those projects of direct supply to market. You directly supply from factory to the warehouses of your customers, okay, including GT distributors, or sometimes to direct bigger parties, where you cut down costs, you cut down the time traveled by the product, and give fresher delivery quicker. So that agility is being adapted by many organizations. Someone who doesn't, they have their challenges, because it's not the product which fails, it is the readiness to make that available fails.
Okay, meet the market. Right. Nicely put. Thanks. So we will take a segue into another trend, which is health consciousness. Right. Yeah, taste and relevance into new market trends. They are all there, but at the same time, we have also seen the health conscious customer rise.
Yeah.
Right. again, going back to my childhood, nobody actually ever spoke about health, right? I mean, we were sold vanaspati as a healthy choice at that time, right? So, but recently you see this health first initiatives, right? I will change my entire life to revolve around health, and that is the key component to my entire being. There is a whole group of customers based upon this, right? So, how does the market and the FMCG segment work around it?
Many people claim nowadays that sugar is not good.
Yeah.
Let's be wary of sugar. So what companies should do, they must understand the sentiments of underlying sentiments right now in the market. Of course, no one can market sugar is very great, but the current trend says that it's not good. No, you can't help it because it's difficult to change a certain trend in the middle. But look at it. We were consuming sugar when we were young, or rather younger. Nothing happened. Okay, it's about what is wrong. Which sugar is wrong? See, our body is supposed to have around 25 grams of sugar every day. If you will not have sugar, the body will not be in a good shape. So that doesn't mean one has to really cut it down. Yeah. But what organizations should know, when the consumer is saying sugar it's not good for health, and for consumer also, you must also understand from the reels and everything which you see is that it's the refined one. Those chemical processed ones which are something not good. There is jaggery, there is khand, there are things which are good and they're essential for body. The body will not function, right? Now what organizations should do hence is that introduce products which builds the relevance of it. Now you see the entire hypocrisy in the consumption cycle. You see plethora of cake bakery joints opening up. Plethora.
Right.
You don't see so many green tea joints opening up. You don't see so many wellness centers opening up. So there is a hypocrisy. Okay, of course, after having a green tea or there's a stress, people will go out, have a tiramisu. All those things are there. I think what consumer look for is better for me. Okay, not every time one has to have an option which is not healthy. And what organizations can do with the entire marketing muscle power and the communication scale which they have is to communicate what is right, what is good. And if indulgence will not have a sweetness to it, it will not be indulgent.
Right.
So tell it is right. Okay. Instead of saying no sugar, not chemically refined sugar.
Right.
Okay. Sweetness, the same which you always wanted from your childhood. So when our mom gives a laddu, okay, a certain thing, you'll be like delighted, wow, ghar ka laddu hai. Hota hai na usme, there is sweetness in that, right? So brands and especially the marketing team, because the marketing team typically have younger audience, right? And subconsciously, the younger audience, they are also consumer, they also get influenced by what they are trying to market it. So one should be extremely dispassionate when doing the entire consumer understanding. Think for whom you are planning, for whom you are targeting. Prepare your product, your brand mix accordingly. And it's very important for organization, the people, the departments involved to disassociate themselves. Should not become the consumer directly. Okay. Who's the one consuming my product? Who's the one who, for what reason? I'll give you two very great examples. We have this brand Faluda. Now Faluda, by any means, if you see, when we go to a restaurant, when we order kulfi Faluda or Faluda, it's that thick, nice milkshake equivalent thing. It will have basil seeds, it will have an ice cream on the topping, it will have noodles, the string noodles or glass noodles. That's what the memory of Faluda is. Now, when I exposed our product to some of my colleagues and people, they say, "But thoda meetha zyada hai, it's a little high on sugar." I said, no, I think it's completely fine. I don't think so. There is a sugar issue. Okay. Now there are different views, right? But is it meant for them? I don't know. And I happened to do a particular market visit, and I asked a particular store that you sell a lot of Faluda. Who are the people who usually consume it? And it's a very nice looking pack and product is very nice. They say, sir, there are certain people who stay here, and many of them, they are always on the move. They have food only once in a day. They don't have the luxury of having breakfast, lunch, dinner. All 3-4 meal for everyone, it doesn't happen. So they take your Faluda, they mix it with 1 liter of milk, and they make thick preparation of 3 glasses. They have it.
Okay.
Okay. And that keeps them running for the half of the day.
Okay.
So basically, it's like an energy drink for them. I said, yeah, fantastic insight. Now, the important for brand is that to understand our product is being consumed by whom and for whom we are preparing, and at times something which may feel as not good for health may be a healthier option for someone else. Now, if you see from the eyes of that particular consumer, that consumer thinks this is a good option for me. It gives me energy, which keeps me running for half of the day. That itself is healthy, and they don't take other glucose powder. And ours is not a glucose powder. They feel it is filling,
Right.
and it gives them a certain kick. It gives them energy. So then that is the meaning of health for them. So one must deconstruct health or health awareness from the angle of SEC-A, SEC-B, SEC-C, because a city doesn't have same kind of population. They have mix of ethnicity, mix of different kind of income levels, different usages. Now, another point in case, and now we are talking of health. So organic comes into it. Now, organic as a thing started around 15 years back. Organic potato, organic tomato. Finally, what happened? That trend never took up so large. It remains a niche, still a niche. But what we try to do, we have organic green tea. Okay. Eco Valley, organic green tea. And now see the beauty of it. Much of the green tea in the market, they claim they are green tea, but not everyone is 100% organic.
Okay.
Ours is 100% organic. Okay. It doesn't have a stapler. It has a certain the composition on which it is being made, the way it is packed. Everything is biodegradable. Okay. But the larger part is that from where you are sourcing those leaves, pesticides should not be used. Any chemicals should not be used in the premises, in the preparation, anywhere. Now, those things we take care. And then we have a certified, Jaivik Bharat certified logo and communication on the brand. Now, if an organization truly means organic, then you follow the right processes. Get it certified by Jaivik Bharat. And not that many people know Jaivik Bharat. So, which is what organizations like us and some other brands should then publicize it, so that the consumer know that if I want organic, why organic trend has not picked up. It's not because people got bored of it, but because people were not able to differentiate between organic and so-called non-organic. Organic potato, regular potato, both are same. What's the difference? Little bit of dust or mud on it? Nothing else. So get it truly certified, do it end to end, and then publicize it. Of course, you'll have a certain consumer, the niche, which after a few years or maybe a decade will become your core consumer, because health consciousness is not about driving business. It's about a position of your organization which tells the consumer this company is not transactional. It does prepare products which are truly good, and they go the extra mile to tell they are right. We have seen some cases on certain brands over the last couple of years where consumers have complained that you call it for immunity, but actually it is not for immunity. So, why to get into a tussle where you say something is healthy when it is not healthy? Be clean is why my message to the brands would be. And in my experience, if something is right, just say it. Okay. If it is indulgent, say it is indulgent. If it is healthy, then have claims, the right claims, which are truly healthy, to say it is healthy.
Stay true to it.
Straight to it. Because ultimately, guys, we are also consumers. So when we pick up a particular oil, it says healthy for you. You say, yeah, it is oil. Or you tell me what exactly you have in it, so that I really believe it.
Right.
Consumers, they'll do a Google, they'll do a particular reel, they'll check it. What ingredients are there? Yeah. So that's what my larger point would be. Either do it rightfully, end to end, to make it really healthy for the consumer, or pick up the right trend, that what consumer actually is looking for. And if they are looking for something which associates the right information, the right thing, good for me kind of thing, then position the offering accordingly. Like you said in the start of the podcast, that consumer-led category definition. So when consumer says healthy, decode what healthy means.
Yeah.
For example, my father, when I was far younger, he used to say, Kaju badam khaya kar, that is healthy. Have nuts, that is healthy.
Right.
Instead of having your biscuits and all.
Okay.
now the definition of healthy has changed. Not everybody says have dry fruits, right? People say have quinoa, have flax seeds, have certain things. So you also feel a little lost in the mind that as I grow up, the definition of health changes. So what does healthy mean? For some people, having a homemade laddu is also healthy. Okay. Now, healthy versus what? Healthy versus don't eat outside cake or pastry, better eat home cooked. Right? If you're craving for something, we'll make besan laddu for you. Okay, don't eat those junk outside. Doesn't mean that what goes inside besan laddu is wrong.
Right.
So we need to understand from consumer understanding that what exactly are they looking for?
Yeah.
Which age group, which SEC is looking for what? And you have those pockets of brilliance which will come out. And listen, even if it is Pune, there are this section of Pune who likes these things. And these things are good. And that's what they want to consume.
Understood.
Then you make product accordingly, which is where the agility of supply chain, which is where the entire digital piece also comes in. That which part of the city, which part of the market should be marketed what, and have a specific marketing plan, specific distribution plan, which is where the digital piece, AI piece, agility, operational effectiveness, those comes in. So
Sure.
That's how I was trying to
Great.
link this.
Sure. So, from your vast experience in the industry, right? Where do you see what is the future for FMCG, right? What would be the next set of trends that you foresee? And how should leaders of the industry, of the various companies that they are owning, how should they change their strategies and be prepared for what's coming?
Very interesting question. And in many forums and with many people, we keep having such conversations. And I have a very simple view on this thing. From the consumer perspective, consumer is changing. Like we discussed, span of attention is changing. Okay, so we have to ensure the core is pretty good and keep bringing differentiation in the life of a consumer, because consumer wants to try. They are not willing to spend too much of money. So maybe their wallet size will still remain the same, but now it will spread over multiple brands or multiple offerings. Okay.
Categories.
Yeah, multiple categories, offerings. So organizations or brands should prepare themselves for doing the right research to understand the consumer and prepare offerings for it. But the larger piece which I feel is that this entire piece of going back to roots is becoming very, very strong.
Right.
In the brand perspective also, people are going back to roots. Now, point in case, few years back, okay, coffee used to be the thing. Okay, coffee parlors are opening up, coffee shops are opening up. Now you see more offerings of tea joints than ever. Even in South, which has been the coffee hub, you see more tea joints.
Right.
Now tea has been very core to India, right?
Correct.
And has been a part of daily life. Now tea joints opening up. But what is the core of it? People finally go back to home. No matter how much you want to loiter around, you'll go back home. You'll go back to roots. So A, products which connect back consumer, and B, the entire sales distribution strategy. Now there are multiple articles which says quick commerce is disrupting, e-commerce has disrupted the GT, Kiranas and many more things it has disrupted, and hence it is going to be a doomsday for Kirana. I have a very different view on this thing. If you see the larger, longer trend line, what you see is that GT has been the most stable, or rather a particular channel through which majority of the masses buy and always remains very sturdy. Many organizations, many companies, D2C companies came, many new startups came in. After making a certain cut in e-com world, they realize the profitability is not good. So they, for going to more number of people, they feel like going back to the GT route, the offline route. There's an online marketing, there's an offline sales, right? And then they struggle. And offline is not so easy, which is GT is not so easy. And then they struggle, right? So what I feel, the biggest trend which is going to come in, that at a point in time, in few years from now, the entire e-commerce bubble, only focusing on quick commerce, will burst. Of course, many organizations who have got their majority stake coming only from quick commerce, they will face profitability troubles. They will face reaching out to consumer trouble. And what organizations must do, and each and every company must do, build the entire GT ecosystem very, very strong. make the distribution very, very strong. There is a one single thing you can do to make sure your brand is available and present to masses, to people, because majority of the companies' headquarters are in metro cities. What you see is what you do. You see quick com. Go to a town outside of that metro city and you see what India is actually. Okay, people love going out, stepping out of the house, buying stuff. It's like saying that ready to eat cookie gravy will replace the traditional cooking. It will not. You can't remove the personalization from the life of a consumer, the maker, the chef, someone who's making at home. You can't take the personalization from the hand of that person. In a similar manner, quick com or all these e-commerce thing is relevant where the issue is of time. When time is not a constraint, you go just beyond metro cities where you don't have the issue of traffic. You don't have the issue of 10 minutes, 20 minutes becoming 1 hour. It's okay. Okay? Then it becomes irrelevant. Of course, there will be a relevance of that because you can order anything when you want to. Options are there. But it will not take away the entire universe of outlets where a consumer would like to go, see for himself or herself, just buy things. The way of marketing things will change. Digital marketing will become really heavy. Okay? But your product should be available in the life of a common person in the way commonly they buy.
Okay.
In the shops where commonly they go.
Understood.
So like I tell my sales team always, and I'll say this thing in Hindi, हमारा प्रोडक्ट वहाँ हो जहाँ आम तौर पे आम नागरिक आम चीजें खरीदने जाता है. Okay, your product should be available in places where a usual citizen, usual common man go usually to buy common stuff. Because that habit will not change.
Yeah, right.
Right. So yeah, that's what I feel. The root of product, coming back to the root is going to be a trend. Coming back to GT is a trend. You check the P&L of all the D2Cs and the startups. Everybody's talking.
Agree. I think I agree. Right. Many D2Cs are starting to do offline and focusing on GT. Right. That is going to happen. So you are forecasting a strengthening of GT or the extension of dominance of GT is what I see.
GT is going to be relevant.
Right.
The only thing is that if the brand feel they have to invest in keeping that relevant. Otherwise, it's a struggle for organization.
Understood.
Yeah.
As usual, very insightful and impactful, Rahul. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
So there you have it, folks. We are done with one episode, but we are not letting Rahul go as it. We will have one more episode with him where we will talk about future of FMCG, sustainability, relevance of new products emerging in the market, and all the challenges there with it. So until next time, keep watching. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Murthy. Thank you. It was a lovely session. And I must say your questions are quite deep-rooted. I think you've done a very extensive amount of research before having this conversation. And I'm very happy we were able to have a meaningful conversation today.
Sure, Rahul. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.